If you've been putting off the launch of your Skool community because you can't find the time to do it, or it feels like a lot of work, or maybe you just don't know what to do, don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to show you how to get your community set up and create all the content assets that you'll need to launch it in less than 1 hour using AI. I guarantee that if you follow along with this video and you use the tools that I share with you, then you can get everything you need to launch your community set up and ready to go in less than 1 hour max. Last year, I was able to generate over $219,000 with my Skool communities, and in December, I won first place in the Skool games for affiliates. And one of the keys to my success is the structure and the framework that we use to launch communities. So I've created some free resources and AI tools which we'll be using in this video to help you to implement this for your community. So I'll drop a link in the description so you can access those resources and the AI tools. Now let's get into the video and let's get your community launched today. All right, so to accomplish our mission today, we're going to be using a couple of different documents and we're going to be using some AI tools that I've created. All right, so the first document that we're going to be using is our community launch questionnaire. So the way that I've built these AI tools, I built a series of AI tools that's going to help you to create all the content you'll need to launch your community. And the way that we've built these AI tools is basically you start the AI tool and then it's going to ask you a series of questions and you're going to answer those questions and then it's going to give you an output that we've trained it to give you, okay? So basically what we've done is we've given you all the questions that the AI tool is going to ask you in advance so you can actually spend some time with these questions, answer them thoughtfully, put some thought into them, and give them better answers so you're not put on the spot when you're starting to use the AI tools. And I'll drop a link in the description so you can access all these documents and the AI tools as well. So you'll come in here and this is what we'll do. We'll fill out this document and then we'll be using these questions, the answers to these questions with the AI tool to get the outputs, okay? And that's going to create a lot of the content that's actually going to go in your Skool setup guide. So this is the complete Skool community setup guide. We've got all the different sections, so the name, graphics, description, categories, membership questions, pinned posts, your automated DM, your links, gamification levels, your courses, your About Us page. And so we've got all the content that you're going to need to set up your community. And then also we have the actual technical setup checklist below that. So this is going to give you everything you need to actually set up your Skool community, and we're going to use the AI tools to create a lot of the content assets to do that. So I'm going to jump in, I'm going to start answering these questions in the actual questionnaire. Then we'll start using the AI tools, and then we'll transfer everything over to the Skool setup guide. So you'll have a working document that you can edit in the future and you can work off of to make changes to your community, kind of keep track of things. And then we'll actually set up the Skool community. So now I'm going to start filling, I'm going to take some time, I'm going to pause this and I'll tell you how much time it took me to actually fill out this community questionnaire. Okay, see you in a second. All right, so I filled out my community AI questionnaire and it took me about 8 minutes. It's actually pretty easy. This community setup assistant is a few questions that we're going to answer. And then we're going to start using some of the output from the AI tool for the rest of these tools. And then the biggest one was this community nurturer, okay? And you don't necessarily have to have this set up to launch. I would suggest getting it set up pretty quickly because this is going to be the email sequence and the text messages that are going to be sent to your new members as they join your community. So that took me about 8 minutes. Now let me show you how we're going to start using this with the AI tool. So the first one we're going to use is the community setup assistant. So basically I'm going to go to our AI tool. I'm going to go to the community setup, and then I'm going to click on this, please help me build our About Us page, book a call post, and auto DM. So it's going to come back and it's going to ask me the first question. I'm going to go over to the questionnaire real quick and I'm just going to grab my first answer. Actually, let me grab my second answer because I can type that one in pretty quickly. So I'm going to grab this, and this is going to be the answer to the second question. So the first question is basically, who is the ideal avatar for your community? And for me, it's going to be coaches and course creators. And then I'll hit enter, and then it'll ask me the next question. Our next question is going to be, what's the main outcome members get as a result of joining the community? Example, and I'll just paste in mine. So what's the outcome that people are going to get as a result of joining your community? So I'm going to paste in my answer. So for me, it's to launch your new community and get your first 100 members in just 10 days. I'm going to hit send, and then I'm going to go ahead and prepare for the next question, which is, what's the biggest challenges or struggles your ideal member is struggling with before joining your community? So I'm going to grab my answer here, which is they don't have a consistent way to get clients. They are procrastinating on launching their community. So I'm going to grab that, copy it, And then I'm going to head over here. You can see the same question here. I'm going to paste that in, hit enter, and then I'll go grab my next answer. And this is going to ask, are you using a lead magnet to drive people into the community? If so, what is it? Okay, so mine is my free community launch checklist. I'm going to grab that. Then I'm going to come over here. You can see the same question here. Paste that in, hit enter. And then the next question is going to be, what deliverables are they going to get? Are they going to get by joining this community? So they're going to get the community setup checklist, the community launch secrets course, and this is what you get, by the way, if you join my free community. They're going to get a one-on-one community launch call to launch your community in just 20 minutes, free credits to our community AI tool. These are the proprietary AI tools that we're using right now to build out your community. And we've got a whole suite of tools. This is just a demo, really, of all of our launch tools. And then they're going to get the secret traffic hack to getting your first 100 members. So I'm going to grab that, go back over to my AI tool, and you can see what deliverables will the members get by joining. I'm going to hit enter, and then it's going to start creating all of my content. So this is going to essentially create, let me go back up here. It's going to create our About Us copy, page copy, our pinned post, our book a call post, and that's one of the ways that we're generating so many phone calls is our positioning for our book a call post, and this is trained to give you a pretty good output for that. Our auto DM, and then it's going to give us some group name ideas. Okay, so let's go back to the tool, and you can see this is our About Us page copy, so I'm just going to grab this, copy it down to here. And then I'm going to head over to my template, my setup guide, and I'm going to scroll down on the left-hand side here. I'm going to click the About Us page example, and then I'm just going to replace this with my copy that I just got from the AI tool. So you need to do paste without formatting because it's white. It's actually white font, so just make sure you do the paste in without formatting. I'll format that a little, and now we have our About Us page copy. Next thing that we're going to get, we're going to tell it to just continue, and then this is going to get our book a call post and our automated DM script, and then we'll add that back into our setup guide as well. So we'll wait for that to come back. All right, so now we've got our book a call post, so we're just going to grab this. Actually, let me go from the bottom up. So we've got our book a call post. I'll grab it to here, copy that, take it over to our document here, and then under pin posts here, you'll click on pin post number 2, and I'll just replace this copy. Again, we want to do right click, post without formatting, and hit Control V, and then you can come in here and format it a little bit better. Hold on. Okay. So let me go in here, delete some of these spaces. And then I can make it, I can come in here and edit it later, make it a little bit more pretty. All right. All right, so that's our book a call post. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to grab our auto DM. So grab this, copy it, and then head over to our guide. We can go to the automated DM here. And then I'm just going to paste it in here. Again, paste without formatting. Cancel, paste that in. Now we've got our automated DM, okay? So you're going to continue, and it's going to give some potential name suggestions. So I'm going to say continue. And then it's going to give me 10 potential names. You might already have the name for your community, but if you want some brainstorming, you can actually use this setup assistant to do that. So we got Community Builders Alliance. Ours is going to be Community Builders, so I'm just going to grab this one here, Community Builders, and we're going to copy that, and then I'll just go to the top here to where it says name, and then we're just going to paste in our name. Again, we got to do right click, post without formatting, and paste that in. Shoot. Anyway, it's going to be Community Builders, so I'm just going to delete that. All right, so now we've used the Community AI Assistant to create all the content that we'll need for that. Now let's move on to the Gamifier tool. So the Gamifier tool is going to help us to actually give us some level names. So it's going to help us to brainstorm our level names and give us some reward ideas. So let's use that. All right, so the gamifier tool is going to help us create our community level names for our gamification. And it's also going to give us some reward ideas that we can use for each of those levels, so that when people unlock those levels, they get these rewards, and that keeps them incentivized to engage in the community. So the first thing that we're going to need is we're going to need the name of the community, and then we're going to need the About Us page copy for your community, which was created by the community setup assistant, the previous AI tool that we used. So I'm going to go back to the AI tools, and I'm going to click on the community AI assistant, or the community setup assistant. I'm going to click on this previous chat that we had. I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to grab the About Us page copy, and then I'm going to go to Gamifier, and I'm going to start a new chat, and then I'm going to click Please help me gamify my community. I'm going to type in my community name here, and then I'm going to hit Shift Enter, and I'm going to paste in my About Us page copy. You can see it's going to ask these two questions here, and then I'm going to hit Enter. And then it should start giving us some level names and also reward ideas. So let that work for a second. All right, so cool. All right, you can see this one is pretty solid. It really goes along with the community builder theme, so I like that one. These are a little bit different, so they're a little bit not aligned with the theme. So I'm going to go with these here. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to head over to my setup guide. And on the left-hand side here, you can scroll down to gamification levels. And then I'm going to just highlight all these previous ones, paste without formatting, and hit Control V. And now I have all my level names in there, and those are pretty solid. So let's head back over to the AI tool, and let's see some of the reward ideas that it gave us. So there's no reward for level 1. Everybody starts at level 1. And this says unlock a surprise gift, bonus course, lead magnet, cheat sheet, AI prompts, etc. I like this because it creates an open loop that a new community member will want to close, so they will want to get to level 2. I really like that, because if people don't know what it is, it's going to eat them up until they actually figure out what that is. So I think that'll incentivize them to actually engage in the community and get more points to unlock that level 2. The next one is level 3, the 7-day trial to paid community. If you have one, I like this because it's a great reward, and it also gives the community owner an opportunity to upsell the free community member if they enjoy the trial. I really like to have a win-win situation with your rewards that are attached to your gamification. One, where you're giving a ton of value to the actual member, and for you, there are opportunities for you to upsell or monetize those members. Okay, so that's a good example of that. Level 4, a 60-minute VIP one-on-one coaching call. Again, a lot of value for them. And then you have an opportunity to use that coaching call to ascend them into your next offer. So that I really like that one. And then level 5, a coaching call recordings from the paid community. I like this because if a member watches it, it can create demand for that paid community. Okay. It also could be for your coaching program if you don't have a paid community. Again, a win-win. They're getting access to behind the scenes of your paid offers, and hopefully they're getting so much value out of that, it creates desire and demand to ascend to the next thing. So I believe this is enough for the free community. Yeah, level 2 through 5, I think that's plenty for a free community. We're kind of using that as a funnel. So these are great. I'm going to actually copy these, and then I'm going to grab it, copy it, and then I'm going to paste that into here. Let me go back. Let me do Control, paste without formatting, Control V, and now I have my reward ideas in there. Okay, so these are going to be the courses that we're going to set up inside of the classroom. Okay, so that is the gamifier, and the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to use the free community launcher to create your, actually this is, I got to change this. This is going to create the text messages, emails, and social media posts to launch your community to your warm audiences to try to get your first members in. Now, to use the free community launcher, we're just going to need the About Us page copy again, which again was created by the community setup assistant. So we're going to go back to the AI tools. I'm going to click on the community assistant, setup assistant, and this first chat that we were using previously. Scroll down, and I'm going to grab our About Us page copy that, and I'm going to head to the free community launcher. and then I'm going to say new chat, and then I'm just going to paste our About Us page copy in here, and then it should start writing our emails or text messages on our social media posts. Let's see. It may ask a couple of questions if it needs a little bit more information. Okay, so how long have you been working on the project? So I'm just going to say I've been doing this for let's do 8 months. And then we've got 50 founding member spots. All right, and then I'm going to come back and it's going to write all of our content. And then we'll just paste it back into the questionnaire. We don't have a spot for that in the setup guide, although I maybe should add that. All right, so that's going to be day 1 social media post. All right. Yes, please continue. All right, so that's our social media posts. And the emails are going to be very, very similar. They might be slightly different. So this is day 1 email. Okay, so we've got that. We've got our text message for day 1. And then I'm going to say, please continue with all days and don't ask again, please. Okay. All right, so we've got our text messages. So I'm just kind of read through this. So official invitation for coaches and creators. I've been working tirelessly on this project for the past 8 months, and it's finally time to release it to you. If you're a coach or course creator and you ever wanted to launch a thriving community but haven't done it yet because of the technical overwhelm or fear or failure, keep reading over the last 8 months. So pretty good copy here, right? All right, so it's got day 2 social media post. It's going to write that. We've got our day 2 email here. Going to write that. We've got our day 3 social media post. We've got our day 3 email, day 4 social media post. So this is a 5-day sequence. Day 4 email, day 5 social media post, day 5 email. So we've got all of our content. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to head over to our questionnaire here, and I'm just going to paste in that copy. I'm just going to highlight that, and I'm going to paste without formatting. Hit Control V. And now we've got all of our emails that we're going to be using to launch this community. All right, so we're kind of moving. I am not going to do the community nurture. There's some questions that you would answer here. But if you wanted to get that set up before you launched, you absolutely could do that. And you would just fill in these questions just like we did before, and then go into the community AI tool, and then go to community nurture, start a new chat, answer those questions, and then you could just paste in your nurture sequence in here once it's created. All right, so now we're going to actually move on, and we're going to start to actually build out our community. All right, so we're going to actually fill in this guide first. So I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to fill this out, and I'll let you know how long it took me to fill this thing out. All right, see you in a second. All right, so now I've completed my Skool community setup guide. I've filled in all this information. It's really just plug and play templates, and then again, we used the AI tools to create some of the other content, but I filled all this out. It took me about 7 minutes to do this. And this is just the starting point for getting your community launched. The most important thing is that you take action. And so this is going to help you to do this quickly. But as you get more members coming in the door, you start to get more and more data. That is going to tell you where your bottlenecks are in your community. And then you can iterate and change some of the things, optimize some of the setup so that you are getting better results. All right. But the most important thing is that we get this thing launched, get people in the door. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to set up our community. We're going to start our community. Show you that in a second. And then we're going to use the technical checklist that's at the bottom of this document that's literally step-by-step everything you need to do to actually get the information into your community and get it all set up. So I'm going to scroll back to the top of the page here. And if you have not set up your Skool community yet, we have this is our affiliate link. I'll link in the description to this where you can get access to this document. If you use our affiliate link, we highly appreciate that. We've got some great offers. So if you do use our affiliate link, just hit me up on Skool and I'll tell you about those offers and we'll hook you up. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to click on this link. It's going to take me to Skool. And then I am going to start my community. So I'll come in here and I'll call this Community Builders Demo. I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to put my card information in, and then we're going to start our 14-day trial. So I'll be right back. All right, so we've got our 14-day trial. Our community is now set up. Now let's start setting this puppy up. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into settings here, and then we're going to go into general, and then I'm going to upload my icons here. So if I go back to my setup guide, I'm going to scroll down. And I've got my cover image here, so I'm just going to download that. And then I've got my icon image here, and I'm going to download that. And then we're going to come back to the community, and I'm going to change the icon here. Let's see, that's the icon. I'm going to open that, save it. And then I'm going to change the cover image here. That's that one. Save it. I grab my community description, which is here. All right. Copy that. Head back over to my community. Paste that in. And then we're going to make this a private community. And all right, so that is the general. Now let's move on and let's start setting up. What's next? We'll start setting up our categories. All right, so to create our categories, I'm just going to copy these and I'm going to take them over and paste them into the community. So I'm going to grab this first one. I'm going to go to our community, and then I'm going to go to categories. And then we're going to do a new one, and I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to hit save. And let's see if we can delete this. I'll just delete this one, and then I'm going to grab my next one, which is introduce yourself. And I'm just doing the name of the category. So I'm going to grab that, click new, paste that in, hit save. Then I'm going to do a new one, grab the other, which is ask a question. And you can use all of these. You can use some of them. You can do your own. But these are pretty good. I think they're pretty solid. So I'll add another one. Come in here, share your wins. So I'll just copy that, paste that in, hit add, create a new one, and then share something valuable. Copy that. Paste that in, and I'm trying to do this fast, but I think you can get the gist of this. So I'm going to grab the last two here. So this one's going to be admin only. So I'm going to paste this in. This is going to be for your events, to announce your events, and we're going to do admins. And then the last one is also going to be admin only. So I'm going to do member spotlight, and I'm going to grab this, add new, paste that in, click admin, and then add. Okay, cool. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our membership questions. All right, so this is a Skool plugin. So what we need to do is go back to our Skool settings, go to plugins. We'll click on the membership questions plugin here. We first need to toggle that on, and then we can start adding our questions. This first one is going to be a text box. So let me grab that. I'm not sure if I copied it. So I'm going to grab this first one here, which is basically what's your #1 challenge you're having around launching your community. Again, you don't have to use these, but they're great starting point. So go ahead and use them if you want, and then you can iterate on them later. So the next one's going to be email. So I'm going to make this an email response type. And then I'm going to grab my next question, which is what's the best email for your exclusive updates? All right, paste that in, click add. And then we'll add our last one. We like to capture the phone number because one of the ways, and one of our best ways, methods or mechanisms for booking calls is our SMS nurture sequence that goes out when somebody joins our community. That's one of the top methods that we are able to book calls with, okay? So that's going to be another text box. So we're collecting email, phone number, and their #1 challenge. So that's our membership questions, and then we're going to start setting up our pinned posts now. All right, so we've got 2 pinned posts. The first one is going to be your book a call post, and again, I need to change the name of this. Actually, I've got it here, so I'll just use that. But basically, this is the post that's going to use to, that I think is one of the main reasons that we book so many calls is we've got really strong positioning. This was created by your community setup AI assistant that we used earlier. And then the second one is a start here post. And the reasoning behind this one, or the goal of this one, is to get people to start engaging in the community by simply introducing themselves. It's a good first step. So let's go ahead, and you're going to actually create the posts in these order, and then you're going to pin the posts. All right. So I'm going to grab this first post here, copy it. I'm going to go to my community. I'm going to click out of this, and then I'm going to write something here. I'm going to paste that in, and then I'm going to grab this first one as the title, first line as the title. And then I'll hit enter to kind of format this thing a little bit better. All right, and then, space it out a little bit. We'll pick a category for it. So this is going to be announcements. And then I like to do a little gift. So book, or I'm just going to say call me. I'm just going to pick that one, and then we're going to post it. And then once it's posted, we're going to click these little 3 dots and we're going to pin it to the feed. Okay. All right. So we got our first pinned post. Now we're going to go back to our document here, and we're just going to grab this one here, and we'll have to come back and put the link to the Start Here course once we get that set up. But let me go back to our community. We're going to paste this in and format it a little bit. Actually, I'm going to grab this for the title, copy it, paste it in, and then we'll delete these first 2 lines. Let me delete that one and then hit delete, and then I'll hit enter, 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 enter. And then this is the template for them to introduce themselves. And then we'll come back and we'll add the link to the Start Here course once we get that set up. So I'm going to click, this is going to be another announcement, and I'll do start. Let's do that. All right. And then we're going to click post, and then we'll pin this one. And you can see the reason that we did that, because we're pinning the Start Here to the top, and then the book a call post will be the one underneath it. So that's how you need to order those in order to get them to look like this. All right. So that is the pinned post. Now let's actually set up our automated DM. This is another plugin. So I'm just going to copy this as it is, grab it. I'm going to head over to the community, click settings, go to plugins, and then we're going to click on the auto DM new members. I'm going to toggle that on, and then I'm just going to highlight all this, paste it in, and click save. Now we've got our auto DM set up. And then the next thing that we need to do is our links. All right, so we've got our Start Here post. So now what I want to do is go to my Start Here post. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to grab the link here, copy it, and then I'll just paste it in here so I'll have access to it. And then we're going to go back to our community. We're going to go to settings. We're going to go to, let's see, I think it's plugins also. So we're going to scroll down to links. We're going to add a link, and then we're going to just grab our copy here, which is here. Paste that in, and then we'll grab the link. And then we'll paste that in. And then we'll click add. And then we'll add our next link, which is the book a call link. So we're going to grab the copy here. We're going to paste that in as the label. And then we'll go and we'll grab the link, copy that, paste that in, hit add. And then if I close out of this, you'll see that these links show up in the sidebar here. So that is where the links from that plugin are placed. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to set up our gamification level names. So to do that, we're going to go back to our community and go to leaderboards, and then we'll start setting these up. All right. So to add our level names, we're going to click on the little gear here, and then we're just going to copy and paste our level names in here. So I'm going to grab the first one here, copy it, paste it in, and then we'll go to our next one, grab that one, copy it, paste it in, grab the third one, copy that. And I do want to show you how that I'm doing this fast, so I'm going to copy them all in. You can just fast forward the video if you're getting bored by this. But let me grab the next one. All right, so we've got all of our level names in here. I'm just going to click save, and then we're going to move on to our next section. Let's go back to our document here, and we're going to start setting up our classroom, okay? So I'm going to start by just creating all the classrooms I'm going to need, and then we'll build them out. So I'm going to go into my community. I'm going to go to classroom, and I'm going to do a Start Here course. I'm going to grab the little emoji and the title here, copy it, paste in the name. Let's see if we've got a description, getting started with this community, copy that, paste it in. And this is the Start Here course, so it's just going to be open. I'm not going to upload a cover image for now. You can do that later. I'm going to click add, And then I'm going to go back to the classroom. I'm going to click our next course, which is going to be our master class. So this is going to be your free course. We'll just do a placeholder for this for now. I won't give it a description. And I'll actually put this on draft until we can actually add in our master class. But what I want to do is have a link that I can now link to from the Start Here course. And then we'll start adding our gamification stuff in here. So that was the master class. Now we're going to add our gamification rewards. So the first one's going to be unlock surprise gift. So I'm going to create my first one, which is going to be, I'm going to call this actually, unlock mystery gift. And I like to have a little emoji here, so I'm going to paste in a gift. Or actually, let's do a question mark. So question mark. And then this is going to be our level 2 reward. So I'm going to set that to level 2. We don't have to put a description if we don't want. Again, we'll add the cover image later. So I'm going to click add. And we'll go back to my classroom. We'll add our next course, which is going to be our level 3 reward. And that's going to be a 7-day trial to our paid community. So I'll copy that, paste that in, and then I'll just say win a, or unlock. All right, and then no cover image, we'll click add, and then we'll create the next course, which is going to be our coaching call recordings from our paid community. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to do elite coaching call recordings. Okay. And then I'll say peek behind the scenes at some of our best call recordings from our paid community. Again, this is going to be, I believe that is going to be level 4 reward. Yep. So I'll make that a level 4 reward. We'll click add, and then we'll go back to the classroom and we'll add our last one here, which is going to be the 60-minute VIP one-on-one coaching call. So I'll copy that and I'll paste in that, and then unlock a 60-minute with Ron Medlin. And then this is going to be our level 5 unlock. Okay. And then no cover image. All right, so now we've got all of our classroom kind of set up. Now I'm going to actually go in and fill in the blanks. So we're going to go into our Start Here course, and then we're going to do our first lesson. So I'm going to go back to the first lesson here, and I'm going to grab the title. And the title is just going to be, if I click so these pages are basically the lessons inside of your course. So I'm going to click the little pencil here, and this first line is going to be the title. So that's going to be the H1 tag. And then below that, we're just going to copy the rest of this copy here, and then we'll paste that in. And then I like to link to the next lesson, so I'm going to create my next lesson, and then we'll add the link in here. So I'm going to click the 3 dots here, click add, actually add page. That's another lesson, and then we'll go back to our document. We'll grab the next title, which is the title for lesson number 2, which is unlock level 2. Again, we'll paste that in as the title. We'll grab the rest of the copy here. All right. And then for this one, we're going to link to the Start Here post. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it below. And then I'm going to go ahead and let me save that. And then I'm going to come back to the community. I'm going to grab my Start Here post link here at the top. So I click on it, it opens it up, and then we can grab the link at the top here. I'll grab that, go back to our classroom, go to the Start Here course, and then I'm going to edit this, and then I will get rid of that, and I'll highlight the copy here, and I'll click this link, paste in my Start Here post. So now we're linking to the Start Here post. Let's see if we have anything else. I don't think we need to do that, but I'll also link to that copy as well. So I'll got that in there. Now we've got everything in there for our lesson number 2. I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to grab the link here at the top for that lesson and go back to our first lesson here. And remember, we wanted to put this link in the description here. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to highlight, click here for next steps, paste in our link. And now we're linking to the next step. So it just makes it really easy for them to move to the next step instead of having to go over here. All right, so now we got our 2 lessons in here. Let's add our next lesson, which is going to be, we're going to add a page, go back to our setup guide and go to the next lesson, which is our Get the Skool app. Copy it. And then we'll click the edit pencil here. We'll paste in our title. And then we'll copy everything we got in here. So don't know where that image is. Let's see here. So I'm going to copy this information. I'm going to go into the description here. We've got everything in here. And then I'm going to, let me see if I can pull this image from the... All right, I don't know if I'll be able to copy this, but you can just look on Google it, or there we go. It actually pasted in. Sweet. So now I can save that. And we've got our lesson number 3, and then we're going to add our next lesson. Back to our document, and then we're going to add the pin the community. Paste in our title. And then go and we'll grab the copy here. Got everything we need. We don't need to add any other links. We'll just paste that in. Click save. And then I believe this is going to be our final lesson for the Start Here course. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab the title. And then we're going to put the title here. And then we'll paste in our rest of our copy here. And the only thing we are going to need is we're going to need to grab the link to the masterclass. So I'm going to save that first, and we'll go back to my classroom. I'm going to click into the masterclass, and I'll just grab the link to the first lesson here, copy it, go back to the classroom, go to my Start Here course, and then go to the last lesson, and then we're just going to hyperlink this copy here to the masterclass. All right. So now we have our full Start Here course created, and now we'll move on to our, you can come in here and plug in this stuff later. So if you have the link to your mystery gift, so grab your free mystery gift, and maybe you'd have a video here that explains what it is. So I would link to it here. I don't have a link to that, so I'm just going to click save, and then we'll move on to the next one, 7-day trial. So click here to start your 7-day trial, and this is if you don't have your 7-day trial open all the time. And I would just get them to like send me a message to so I can give you access to the 7-day trial. Okay, so I could link to like my link to my profile so they can send me a chat with that. Now let's go to the next one, which is the elite call recording. So you would just start here and you would do like elite call, and then I would do maybe like May 7th, 2025, and then I would just come here and I would add the video link for that call recording. And if you wanted to do a summary below that, you could do that too. I'll save that, and then you could just start putting your call recordings in here. And you don't have to put all of them. I would just put some of them. And then for this one, this is going to be book your 60-minute VIP coaching call. And then for this one, we would come in here and we would just link to our sales or whatever calendar you want to use. So I'm just going to do this one. GoHighTicketNow.com coaching call. Okay. And anyway, you know what I did there. So then we've got our classroom set up. Now, what is our next step that we're going to do? So I'm going to scroll down, and we've got our gamification rewards. Really, the only thing we need to do now is we need to set up our About Us page. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to my community. I'm going to go to the About Us page. I'm going to paste in my copy. And in our full community AI tool, we also have a tool that will help you to write a video sales letter, which you could also add here. For a free community, I would just do like a walkthrough of everything they get inside the community, maybe some testimonials, but you can just keep it really simple for a free community. You don't need like a really strong About Us page, because really people are going to be coming from you for your lead magnets in your free course. So you don't really have to worry about too much on your About Us page. Now I'm going to save that. Now we've got our About Us page set up. The only thing that we have to do left is, let me go down, and we got some additional plugins to set up. So I'm going to click on settings. I'm going to go to plugins, and then we'll just go down the line here. So with onboarding video, that's going to be the video that someone sees when they first join your community. There's a default one here that just comes default through the system, and you can toggle that on or off if you want to have that video showing. And then once you're ready, you can actually come in here and you can change the video that they're going to see. And again, you want to make it under 2 minutes, and you can customize that video for your particular community. Again, I would just start with their default one, and then you can add a new one, a custom one. As you get more people in, you get more data. The next thing is Zapier integration. I would definitely turn this on. You're going to want to have this to connect your CRM. So when somebody joins your free community, you push them into your CRM, and then they start getting your nurture sequences. You can also send them broadcast emails and things like that. So definitely want to integrate Zapier with your CRM. Metapixel tracking, I would definitely turn this on. And there's a video that Sam Evans basically shows you step by step through how to set up this metapixel on your Skool community. So definitely turn that on and get the metapixel set up as quickly as possible, because that's going to help you to track people that are joining your community if you're running ads, but also to build a custom audience that you can retarget with ads as well. All right, you can do a cancellation video. For a free community, that is not going to be needed, but for a paid community, I would definitely turn that on. Unlock chat at level 2 or level 3. I would probably turn this one on, and I would do level 2, or you could do level 3 if you wanted to, but basically that's going to keep people from spamming your members. Okay, so that's a good one to have. You could do, I don't really have a recommendation on unlocking posting at level 2 or level 3. Because I just don't have a recommendation on that one. So you can just, that's an optional one, and you can just decide whether you want to do that or not. Again, with Google Ads tracking, I would turn that on, and I would go ahead and set it up, because it's basically the same thing. You create retargeting ads to your community using Google Ads, so YouTube and also just Google search ads. So definitely turn those on. Links, we already turned those on earlier. I would keep instant membership approval off, and I would review everybody that's joining your community, because a lot of people, there's a lot of spam that actually people coming into your community. And then the webhook, we can actually invite members to your group with a simple webhook. So you could turn this one on, and you can use this webhook in your CRM. So if you generate leads by ads or some other method that's not driving people into the community to generate the lead, then all of those leads or specific leads that you tag or whatever, you can invite those people into the community. So that's a great way to passively grow your community if you're generating leads some other way. So that is basically setting up your community. I'm going to drop a link in the description so you can grab the document and also the AI tools so that you can get your community set up as quickly as I just did. And so thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.